They say poverty can make a man desperate, but what if that desperation leads him to betray his own blood? This is the story of Adekunle, a poor family man whose life was marked by hunger, ridicule, and shame, until one night, in the thick darkness of the forest, he stood before his own 18-year-old son, torn between love and the lure of wealth. But when the knife was raised, fate took a turn no one expected. From that moment on, Adekunle's life changed forever. He rose from the dust of disgrace to sit among kings, showered with gifts, respect, and riches. Yet behind the fine clothes and new mansion lay a secret so dark, it haunted his every breath. Strange dreams, whispering shadows, and the chilling reminder that every covenant with darkness has a price. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear is not just the story of Adekunle. It is the warning of how the lust for wealth can destroy a man, his family, and everything he holds dear. The night was quiet, except for the steady chirping of crickets and the distant barking of a dog. Adekunle sat outside his mud house, staring at the fading lantern on the wooden stool before him. His wife and 3 children were inside, already asleep, but hunger had kept him awake. His stomach groaned, yet he ignored it. Hunger was no longer new to him. It was like an old, unwelcome friend. For years, Adekunle had struggled. Once a promising young man in his youth, he had dreamed of greatness. But reality crushed those dreams. His farm failed. His small trading business collapsed. Now he was a poor family man with nothing to offer but empty promises. His son, Toboloba, only 18, was the pride of his heart. Tall, handsome, and intelligent, Toby had been admitted into the university. But Adekunle could not afford the fees. The shame ate deep into him. That night, he muttered bitterly, "Of what use is a father who cannot provide for his own son? The boy is gifted, yet poverty has chained him." Just then, a black SUV pulled up beside his compound, raising dust into the night air. The sound startled him. From the car stepped out his old friend, Chief Adekunle, a wealthy and influential businessman in the town. His gold wristwatch gleamed in the moonlight, his agbada flowing like the garment of royalty. "Adekunle," Chief called, smiling broadly. "Still awake at this hour?" Adekunle forced a weak smile. "Sleep has no meaning to a hungry man, Adekunle." Chief laughed, shaking his head. "You still live like this? And, after all these years? Look at me, look how I live. My friend, poverty is a curse, and only the brave escape it." Adekunle sighed. "Not everyone is lucky like you, Adekunle. God did not bless all of us equally." But Chief leaned closer, lowering his voice. "Who told you wealth is by luck? Adekunle, I was once like you, broken, hungry, forgotten. But I found a way. A secret way. If you are ready, you too can rise." Adekunle's eyes narrowed. "What way?" Chief smiled knowingly. "A way that demands courage. A way that requires sacrifice. But once done, you will never know poverty again." Adekunle stared into the night sky, his heart pounding. His friend's words echoed in his mind. Wealth, secret, sacrifice. Chief continued, "Don't let poverty bury you alive. Think of your children. Think of Toboloba's future. Riches are closer than you think, my friend, if only you dare to reach for them." Adekunle's throat went dry. He didn't ask further. Something about the way Chief spoke both frightened and excited him. It was as if a forbidden door had just been cracked open before his very eyes. That night, Adekunle couldn't sleep. His wife's gentle breathing and the soft snores of his children should have comforted him, but instead, they mocked him. He thought of Chief's words. He thought of Toboloba's university admission letter, folded and hidden in his wooden box. He thought of his shame as a father. The moonlight streamed through the cracked window as he whispered to himself, "Sacrifice wealth. Toboloba's future." And though he did not yet understand the full meaning of what Chief had offered, his heart had already begun its slow, dangerous drift toward darkness. The morning sun was blazing when Adekunle set out for the market square. His wrapper hung loosely around his waist, and his old slippers slapped against the dusty ground. He carried a basket of firewood on his head, what he hoped to sell for just a few coins to buy Gary for his family. But in his mind, he was replaying Chief Adekunle's words. Sacrifice, Riches are closer than you think. At the market, he saw people who once respected him, now treating him like a beggar. A woman who had once borrowed from him now laughed loudly, saying, "Adekunle, you are finished. See what life has done to you." He clenched his jaw but said nothing. Poverty had stolen his dignity. As he returned home empty-handed, he found Chief Adekunle waiting again, this time seated inside his car with the engine running. "Adekunle," Chief said, opening the door. "Come with me. Let us talk like men." Adekunle hesitated but climbed in. The air conditioner cooled his sweat-soaked body as the car sped out of the village. They drove silently until they reached Chief's mansion, a palace of marble floors, gold decorations, and servants moving about with bowed heads. Adekunle's mouth fell open. "So this is how you live, Adekunle? This is another world." Chief smiled slyly. "And it can be your world too, but only if you are ready." They sat in the living room, where Chief poured him a glass of wine. Adekunle refused it. His hands trembled. "Speak plainly," Adekunle said. "What is this secret you keep talking about?" Chief leaned forward, his voice low. "Wealth is not given, it is taken. The gods of this world reward only those who can give them what they desire most. If you want riches, you must offer something precious in return." Adekunle frowned. "Offer? Like what?" Chief's eyes glinted. "Blood." Adekunle dropped the cup in shock. "Blood? You mean killing?" Chief chuckled. "Not just any blood, my friend. The gods demand something close to you, something that will pierce your soul. That is the price of greatness." Adekunle stood, shaking his head. "Never. I can't. I would rather remain poor then." "Sit down," Chief snapped, his tone suddenly sharp. Then, softening, he added, "You speak like a weak man. How long will you suffer? Look at your wife. Does she deserve this life? Look at Toboloba. He is brilliant, yet you cannot even pay his school fees. Will you let poverty bury his destiny too?" Adekunle's breath caught. The mention of his son stabbed his heart. Chief placed a hand on his shoulder. "Adekunle, I gave my own offering years ago. Painful, yes. But look at me now. I am powerful. I am untouchable. People bow before me. If you are brave enough, you too will rise, and your family will never suffer again." Adekunle whispered, almost in tears, "But my own child?" Chief's voice was cold and persuasive. "One child lost, but the rest saved. Think, my friend. Without sacrifice, you are nothing. With it, you will be everything." The room was silent. Adekunle felt as though his heart was being torn apart. He imagined Toboloba smiling, calling him Baba, running errands, laughing with his younger siblings. Could he betray his own son? But then he imagined wealth. No more hunger. No more shame. His wife dressed like a queen. His younger children educated abroad. His name restored in the land. The battle raged in his soul. Chief poured him another glass and raised his own. "To courage," he said. Adekunle's hand shook as he lifted the cup. His lips trembled as he whispered to himself, "For Toboloba's future, for the family." He drank, and in that moment, though he did not know it, Adekunle had taken his first step into darkness. For 3 nights, Adekunle could not sleep. Every time he closed his eyes, 2 visions haunted him. On one side, his son Toboloba, innocent, smiling, calling him Baba, with trust shining in his eyes. On the other side, an image Chief had planted in his mind, a mansion, cars, servants, money piled like mountains. A life where he would never again bow his head in shame. His wife, Yatund, noticed the change. "Adekunle, what troubles you? You hardly sleep. You hardly eat. Talk to me." He forced a smile. "Nothing, Yatund. Just the weight of life." But deep inside, his soul was at war. One afternoon, Chief Adekunle sent for him again. Reluctantly, Adekunle went. This time, Chief led him into a private chamber in his mansion. The walls were lined with strange paintings, gold ornaments, and glass cases filled with foreign currencies. In the center sat a chest, locked with heavy brass. Chief smiled as he placed a key into the lock. With a click, the chest opened. Adekunle gasped. Inside were bundles of cash stacked neatly, sparkling jewelry, and documents to lands and properties. All this, Chief said, his voice smooth like honey, was given to me when I chose courage. And there is more, far more than you can imagine. Adekunle's knees grew weak. He had never seen so much wealth in his life. Chief handed him a gold wristwatch. Wear this. Feel the weight of power. The cold metal pressed against Adekunle's skin, heavy, intoxicating. Your life can change overnight, Chief whispered. No more carrying firewood. No more mocking voices. You will be addressed as Chief Adekunle, the man who rose from nothing. People will bow before you. Even those who despise you now will lick your feet. Adekunle's mouth went dry. And the price. Chief's smile faded. His tone turned sharp. You already know the price. The gods do not give without taking. The greater the wealth, the greater the sacrifice. You must offer blood. The blood of one who carries your spirit. That is the rule. Adekunle staggered back, shaking his head violently. No, I can't. That is madness, Adekunle. My own blood? My own son. But Chief stepped closer, gripping his shoulders tightly. Listen to me. Do you think I rose to this level by laziness? Do you think the rich you admire on TV got there by chance? No. Every throne is built on sacrifice. If you refuse, you will die wretched. But if you accept, you will be reborn as a king among men. Adekunle's lips trembled. Toby is just a boy, only 18. He trusts me. How do you expect me to? Chief's voice was calm but deadly. It is because he trusts you that it will work. The gods want what you love most. Give it to them, and they will give you the world. Refuse, and you will remain the beggar you are. The room grew silent. Adekunle felt dizzy, staring again at the chest of money. He imagined his wife wearing gold. He imagined his children living in luxury. He imagined Tobiloba's university dreams fulfilled, though Toby himself would not be there to see it. Chief leaned in, whispering like a serpent. Close your eyes, Adekunle. Imagine never going hungry again. Imagine people calling you His Excellency. Imagine your name carved into history. Wealth, power, honor, it can all be yours. But only if you are brave. Adekunle closed his eyes. His heart pounded in his chest. And though tears stung his eyes, he whispered the words that sealed his fate. What must I do? Chief smiled, satisfied. Good. Tonight, you begin the journey. The moon was full that night, its pale light spilling across the quiet village. Adekunle sat outside his hut, his face buried in his hands. He had agreed. His mouth had spoken words his heart was not ready for, and now there was no going back. Inside, Yutund hummed softly as she put the younger children to sleep. Tobiloba sat at the corner, reading by the faint glow of a lantern. His face was calm, innocent, hopeful. Baba, he said without looking up, I believe things will get better for us one day. God will not forget us. Adekunle's chest tightened. He couldn't answer. His throat felt as though it was strangled by guilt. Later that evening, Chief Adekunle's black SUV arrived quietly at the back of the compound. He did not honk. He did not call out. He simply waited in the shadows, the engine purring softly. Adekunle stepped out into the night, his legs trembling as he approached the car. Chief rolled down the window. Are you ready? Chief asked. His voice was calm, almost casual, like a man asking if his friend was prepared for a short journey. Adekunle swallowed hard. What must I do first? Chief leaned closer, lowering his voice. Tomorrow night, you will take the boy to the forest. Tell him it is for a hunting trip, or that you want to teach him something about manhood. He will not suspect you. The gods require innocence, innocence that trusts. Once you bring him there, the rest will be handled. Adekunle's lips trembled. And if I refuse at the last moment? Chief's eyes turned cold. Do not play with the gods, Adekunle. Once you open the door, you cannot close it again. Refusal is death, not just for you, but for your whole family. The spirits do not forgive weakness. The words hit Adekunle like a hammer. He felt trapped. Chief leaned back in his seat. Tomorrow, midnight, at the forest path by the old Irako tree. Do not fail. The SUV drove off, its red taillights disappearing into the darkness. That night, Adekunle lay beside Yetund, but did not sleep. She turned to him, her eyes filled with worry. Adekunle, what is happening to you? You are restless. You hardly speak. Is there something you are hiding from me? He forced a laugh. No, Yetund. I'm just thinking about how to make life better for us. She touched his hand gently. Then trust God. Do not do anything foolish. Our children need you. Adekunle closed his eyes. If only she knew the storm inside me, he thought. The next day, Tobiloba returned from running errands in the village. Adekunle called him aside, his voice unusually soft. Toby, tomorrow night, you will follow me to the forest. I want to teach you something about hunting, something every man must learn. Tobiloba's eyes lit up. Really, Baba? At last. I've always wanted to go hunting with you. Adekunle forced a smile, but his heart bled. When Toby walked away, humming happily, Adekunle collapsed onto a wooden stool, his chest heaving. What am I doing? He whispered. Tears filled his eyes, but the echo of Chief's voice thundered in his head. Wealth, power, honor, it can all be yours, but only if you are brave. That night, as the crickets sang and the moon hung heavy in the sky, Adekunle sat outside, staring at the stars. His younger children slept peacefully, and Yetund's breathing was steady inside, but his own heart was a raging sea. Tomorrow night, he would lead his son into the forest, and nothing would ever be the same again. High voltage. The forest was alive with whispers that night. The crickets sang, the trees swayed under the wind, and the moon cast ghostly shadows across the narrow path. Adekunle walked ahead, holding a lantern in one hand and a machete in the other. His son, Tobiloba, followed closely, his youthful face bright with excitement. Baba, Toby whispered, are we really going to hunt tonight? Will we catch something? Adekunle forced a smile that felt like a knife twisting in his chest. Yes, my son. Tonight you will learn what it means to be a man. Toby grinned, his innocence shining like a torch in the darkness. I've waited for this day. My friends will not believe it when I tell them Baba finally took me hunting. Every word cut deeper into Adekunle's heart. His legs felt heavy, as if the earth itself tried to hold him back. When they reached the old Irako tree, the place Chief had described, Adekunle stopped. The tree loomed tall, its branches twisting like arms into the night sky. The air around it felt colder, heavier, as though unseen eyes were watching. Toby looked around curiously. Why here, Baba? The bush is thick. Is this where animals pass? Adekunle could not answer. His mouth was dry. His hand shook so badly that the lantern nearly slipped. Suddenly, from the shadows, Chief Aladameji appeared, dressed in flowing white, his face calm, his presence commanding. Behind him, two hooded figures emerged, carrying strange calabashes and drums that thudded softly, like a heartbeat. Toby's eyes widened in surprise. Chief Aladameji, you are here too. Chief smiled warmly at the boy. Yes, my son. Tonight is a special night. Adekunle's heart hammered violently. He wanted to shout, to grab his son and run, but his legs refused him. His mind screamed, stop this madness. Yet his mouth was frozen. Chief stepped closer to Adekunle, whispering, do not falter now. The gods are watching. This is the moment of destiny. Toby looked from his father to Chief, his young face puzzled. Baba, what is happening? Adekunle's eyes filled with tears. He wanted to say, forgive me, my son. I am weak. But his lips trembled, no words coming out. The drums grew louder. The hooded men circled slowly, chanting in low tones. The forest itself seemed to hold its breath. Chief raised his hand. Adekunle, tonight you choose your future. Take courage. Do what must be done, and riches will flow like rivers into your house. Adekunle's vision blurred. He saw Tobiloba's face glowing with trust, love, and innocence. He saw Yetund waiting at home, believing her husband was protecting their child. He saw his two younger children, asleep, their futures hanging in his decision. Sweat poured down his face. His chest heaved. His grip on the machete tightened. Baba, Toby called softly, his voice trembling now. Why are you crying? Adekunle broke down, his knees buckling. The machete slipped from his hand, and fell with a dull thud on the forest floor. He wept bitterly, his cries echoing into the night. I can't. I can't. He is my son. My blood. For the first time, Chief's face hardened, his smile fading into a cold mask. Adekunle, weakness is death. You swore already. The spirits are here. If you turn back now, you and your whole family will be destroyed. Do you want that? Adekunle froze, shaking violently. His heart was torn in two. Save his son and risk all their lives, or destroy his son and live with guilt forever. The forest roared with the sound of the drums, the chants, and the pounding of his own heart. It was indeed the night of no return. Adekunle dropped the machete at his side and fell to his knees, sobbing uncontrollably. I can't do it. I cannot. He is my son, my blood, my firstborn. I can't. Chief's eyes hardened. Adekunle, you fool. The gods are watching. If you falter now, they will consume you and your family with you. Adekunle buried his face in his hands, weeping. Then let them take me. I cannot kill Toby. I cannot. Chief's voice turned sharp, his patience thinning. You are weak, Adekunle. Fine. If you lack the courage, I will finish this for you. Before Adekunle could react, Chief surged forward, raising a curved blade high above his head. Toby's eyes widened as the truth struck him like lightning. His chest tightened with fear, his breath coming in sharp bursts. Baba, you brought me here for this? Forgive me, my son, Adekunle wailed, crawling forward, but his hands found only dirt. Chief lunged, but at that instant, Toby's survival instinct exploded. With all the strength of his youth, he shoved Chief backwards. The blade slipped from his hand, clattering onto the forest floor. Run, Toby! Run! Adekunle cried. Without looking back, Toby bolted into the forest, his legs flying like a deer chased by hunters. The hooded men gave chase, their drums abandoned, their white garments flashing as they disappeared into the darkness. Chief followed, furious, his voice roaring. Catch him! Do not let him escape! But the forest was vast, and Toby's fear gave him wings. Branches tore at his clothes, thorns scratched his skin, but he did not stop. He ran deeper and deeper until the chants, the footsteps, and the curses behind him faded into silence. He was gone. When Chief and his men finally returned, breathless and empty-handed, Adekunle was still at the foot of the Irako tree, weeping like a broken man. His tears fell into the soil, his chest heaving with regret and sorrow. I told you. I could not do it, he murmured. I am cursed already. Chief looked down at him, his face dark with frustration. Fool, do you know what you've done? The gods demanded blood tonight. You brought them nothing. They will not forgive this failure. Adekunle lifted his face, streaked with tears. Then let them take me instead. I am ready. Chief studied him for a moment. Then his lips curled into a cold smile. Perhaps there is another way. Yes, the gods are merciful if you appease them quickly. Adekunle's eyes widened. Another way. Tell me, what must I do? Chief reached into his robe and brought out 2 white kola nuts, glowing faintly under the moonlight. He placed them in Adekunle's trembling hands. Swallow these. Both of them. Tonight. That will be your offering. Adekunle stared at the nuts, his hands shaking. And what will happen to me if I do? Chief waved his hand impatiently. There's no time to explain. The gods are waiting. Swallow them, and wealth will flood your house. You will rise above every man you know. That is what you wanted, is it not? Adekunle looked at the kola nuts, then at the Irako tree towering above him like a silent judge. His chest heaved, his mind screaming with doubt. Finally, with tears streaming down his face, he whispered, If this will spare my son, if this will change my family's life, so be it. He placed the kola nuts into his mouth, swallowing them painfully. His throat burned, his stomach twisted, but he forced them down. When it was done, he fell to his knees again, gasping. Chief nodded with satisfaction. Good. You have chosen wisely. Now go home. Await the dawn of your new life. As the chief and his men vanished into the forest, Adekunle remained under the Irako tree, alone with his tears, not knowing that the price he had just accepted would haunt him for Eve. Adekunle dragged himself back to the village, his eyes swollen from weeping. And by a cruel twist of fate, he arrived home long before his son. His wife, a bike, rushed to him at once, her face pale with worry. Adekunle, where is Toby? Why did you not come home together? Did he lose his way in the forest? Was he taken by wild animals? Tell me. Adekunle staggered into the hut, his mind racing, cooking up lies to cover the horror of what had transpired. He wiped his eyes and forced a weak smile. He ran off chasing something. Adekunle lied. I thought he would be right behind me, but the forest is thick. He must be on his way back. A bike's hand shook. Ah, my son, you left him in that wicked forest. She collapsed on the mat, wailing. Adekunle bent over her, consoling her with hollow words, even as his stomach twisted in guilt. Hours later, when the moon was high, there was a knock at the door. An old hunter, his lantern casting a golden glow, stood at the threshold with Toby by his side. The boy's clothes were torn, his skin scratched, his eyes swollen from crying. I found this lad wandering lost, the hunter said. The forest almost swallowed him. The spirits are restless there. Be careful. A bike screamed with joy, rushing to embrace her son. She showered him with kisses, her tears wetting his dusty face. Toby, my child, where have you been? What happened to you? Speak to your mother. But Toby lowered his eyes, silent. His lips quivered, but no words came. He glanced once at his father, then turned his face away. That night, and for many nights after, he avoided Adekunle like a plague. A bike noticed. The boy would not eat with his father, would not sit near him, would not even meet his gaze. Whenever she pressed him for answers, Toby remained silent, carrying a secret that tore his young soul apart. A bike's heart swelled with suspicion. Something unspeakable had happened in that forest of wickedness. But neither her husband nor her son would give her the truth. And so, in the quiet of the night, Adekunle's lies grew heavier than chains, while Toby's silence screamed louder than words. Adekunle thought the gods had finally answered his prayers. From disgrace to respect, from rags to riches, his life looked like a dream come true. But in the dead of night, when the village celebrated him, he alone heard the whispers, the shadows, the reminder that no man can outsmart the gods. The price of his wealth has only just begun to unfold. And what waits ahead? For his health, for his family, for the silent, watchful eyes of his son Toby, will shake everything he has built. Will Adekunle's secret remain hidden, or will the truth tear his world apart? You cannot afford to miss what happens next. If this story has shaken you, then don't just scroll away. Hit that subscribe button right now and turn on the notification bell, because part 2 is coming, and it will leave you speechless. And while you wait, go watch some of our other powerful stories on this channel. They will move your heart and open your eyes. This is not just entertainment. This is a warning, and the story is only getting darker.